In 1922, archaeologists excavating in Pakistan found something impossible. A city with straight streets intersecting at perfect right angles. Covered sewers running under every road. Private bathrooms in every house. They dated the bricks. 2600 BCE. Rome wouldn't be founded for another 1,850 years. This civilization had better infrastructure than Rome. And then, 5 million people just walked away. This is what they left behind. 1921. The British are digging near the town of Harappa in Punjab. They're looking for bricks to build a railroad. Instead, they find an entire city buried under the dirt. The next year, 400 miles south, another team uncovers Mohenjo-daro, and the ruins look identical. Same grid layout, same brick sizes, same drainage systems. Over the next century, archaeologists find over 1,000 settlements. They span from Afghanistan to Western India, 1.3 million square kilometers. That's larger than Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. 5 major cities, dozens of towns, thousands of villages, all following the same construction standards, all connected by trade routes. At its peak, this civilization had 5 million people, contemporary with the pyramids, as populous as ancient Egypt. And until 1922, we had no idea it existed. Here's what makes these cities strange. Every city is laid out on a perfect grid. Main streets run north, south, and east-west, intersecting at 90-degree angles. Side streets branch off at right angles. No winding medieval lanes. No organic growth. The bricks are standardized across the entire civilization. Every brick, in every city, follows the same 4:2:1 ratio. Length to width to height. Whether you're building in Harappa or 500 miles away in Lothal, you're using identical bricks. Let's compare. 2600 BCE. Harappan cities have grid planning, standardized construction, citywide infrastructure. 753 BCE. 1,850 years later. Rome is a collection of mud brick huts on 7 hills. No grid, no planning. Villages clustered around a marsh. Rome wouldn't develop systematic urban planning until the Etruscans taught them. 6th century BCE. That's 2,000 years after Harappan cities were already laid out on grids. Imperial Rome. The Rome with aqueducts and forums and grid cities. That's 1st and 2nd century CE. That's 2,500 years after Mohenjo-daro was built. But here's where it gets weird. Every house in Mohenjo-daro had a private bathroom. Every bathroom connected to a covered drain in the street. The drains were built from fitted bricks. They ran alongside every major road. Manholes allowed workers to access and clean them. Wastewater flowed out of the city into soakage pits outside the walls. They built a public bath the size of a swimming pool. Waterproof brickwork. Steps leading down. A sophisticated drainage system to refill and empty it. Most houses had private wells. Advanced water management. Fresh water in, wastewater out. No contamination. In Rome, most people used public latrines, public baths. The wealthy, patricians, senators, they had private plumbing. But that was the exception. In Harappan cities, everyone had plumbing. Every house, every neighborhood. Rich or poor. This level of sanitation wouldn't be common again until the 19th century. That's 4,000 years later. But here's what archaeologists couldn't find. No palaces. No royal tombs packed with gold. No massive temples. No fortifications. No weapons caches. Egypt had pyramids for pharaohs. Mesopotamia had palaces for kings. The Harappans? Similar-sized houses, simple burials, equal access to city services. Either they were the most egalitarian Bronze Age society ever, or they had a government system so different we can't recognize it. They had writing. Archaeologists have found 4,000 inscribed objects, seals made of stone, clay tablets, pottery shards, all covered in symbols. Between 400 and 700 unique symbols, depending on who's counting. Most inscriptions are short, 5 to 7 symbols. The longest we found, 26 symbols. For over 100 years, linguists, archaeologists, and cryptographers have tried to crack it. Over 100 proposed decipherments. Not one has been accepted. With Egyptian hieroglyphs, we had the Rosetta Stone, the same text in 3 languages. With Linear B, we had thousands of tablets and context clues. With the Indus script, short inscriptions, no bilingual texts, no known descendant language. Modern computers have analyzed the patterns. AI has looked for statistical regularities. Some scholars argue it's not even a full writing system, just symbols for names and numbers. We have thousands of texts from this civilization. We can see them, touch them, photograph them. We just can't read a single word. And then, around 1900 BCE, something happened. The cities start emptying. Not all at once, gradually. Over a few hundred years. The standardized bricks disappear. Buildings get shoddier. Trade slows down. The writing stops appearing on pottery. By 1700 BCE, Mohenjo-daro is abandoned. Harappa is nearly empty. The great cities, home to tens of thousands, are ghost towns. The people move east toward the Ganges Valley. They establish small farming villages. The urban culture, gone. So what happened? The most likely answer, climate change. Around 2000 BCE, the monsoon patterns shifted eastward. Less rain in the Indus Valley. Rivers started drying up. The Ghaggar-Hakra river system, which may have been larger than the Indus itself, it dried up completely. The cities were built on agriculture. When the rivers dried, crops failed. Trade collapsed. You can't sustain 40,000 people in a city when there's no water and no food coming in. In the final layers of Mohenjo-daro, archaeologists find bodies left unburied in the streets. Signs of violence, disease. The end wasn't peaceful. The environment changed, and they couldn't adapt fast enough. A civilization that lasted 700 years, that built over 1,000 cities, that housed 5 million people, that had technology centuries ahead of its time. Gone. The people survived. DNA proves modern South Asians descend from the Harappans. The population didn't vanish. It dispersed. But the culture, the knowledge, lost. We can't read their language. We can read ancient Egyptian, Mesopotamian cuneiform, Mayan glyphs, even Linear B, which was lost for 3,000 years. We cracked that in 1952. The Indus script? Still silent. Imagine losing everything a civilization built. The technology, the urban planning, the writing system, the administrative knowledge. India's next urban civilization wouldn't emerge for another 1,000 years. That's a millennium where people forgot how to build cities. They built better infrastructure than Rome would have 2,000 years later. They standardized construction across an area the size of Western Europe. They gave every citizen access to clean water and sanitation. And we know all of this because we can see what they built. We just can't hear what they had to say about it.